Tiffany Tall is going to be speaking. She's one of the leaders that helps put on the Nonprofit Breakout. So we've got a great program today. Matt from Holy Family Cristo is going to walk through a gem, which is a Google version of the Gemini product. So we've got some really great content. I won't spoil too much of it, but we're just going to thank you all for being here. We're thankful after Thanksgiving to have this room, this community of nonprofit leaders here, helping make the city better in all different areas that we work at and using AI to do so. So I'm going to kick it off to Emily to hopefully get us started.
Thank you, William. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good. Well, welcome to Birmingham AI's nonprofit meetup. I think this is our third meetup, and it's just been such a joy this year to see this community continue to grow. Birmingham AI got started a couple years ago with about 50 people and 2 local entrepreneurs, and since then, over the past 2 years, it has grown into over 800 people getting together across the general meetup and 5 meetups across each month, which is really exciting. How many of you, is this your first time at the Depot? Few folks, okay. You newcomers, how many are first time at a Birmingham AI event? Okay, so about half the room. Well, it's so good to have you all here with us today. We're gonna make this fun, and I'm actually really excited. Today we're talking about data and storytelling with data, and I'm a big data nerd. In fact, I participate in a monthly breakfast called Data Nerds, and so this topic is very near and dear to me. But I've spent my career working as a data analyst. I worked as a nonprofit executive. And so I've really kind of seen data and how it shows up in the work we do. And so I'm really excited for y'all today to see practical ways you can use data as well. I'm curious, how many data analysts do we have in the room? A few. As many of y'all know, it's kind of a privilege, and you're pretty lucky if you get to have a data analyst on your team, because a lot of nonprofits are really lean. And so it's really exciting to have these tools because it adds capacity to our teams and really allows us to have more impact. It's always, I can turn it on. I'm not going to be this person that has to help.
Yeah, we might need to click on the...
As we work through our technical difficulties. AI really is, as all of you know, it's something we all hear about. It's going to transform the way we work and the economy. And so really, as we think about the broader mission of Birmingham AI, it's really simple. We want to broaden the adoption across our city and make it a net job creator. So today, first up, I want to welcome our sponsor. And I was just telling Amy earlier, I sit on the board of a local nonprofit that actually uses Luca's services over the past year. And they've done phenomenal work. And Amy Cross with Luca is going to tell us a little bit more about the work they do.
Hello, I'm Amy Cross.
Yep.
We're so glad you're here today. Thanks for letting us be here today. It's an honor to talk to you all. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Luca, who we are, what we do, and why we do it. This topic is near and dear to our heart because we are very technology forward, data driven, and we do provide financial services to nonprofits and to businesses, but we have a whole group that focuses on nonprofits specifically. And we do that because we want to help nonprofits do their work more effectively, more efficiently. We want you to be able to focus on what you do well. So we take care of those, crossing those T's, dotting those I's, and getting data-driven insights that nonprofits can use to make better decisions, to make more effective decisions. And there's some words up there that tells you that in different words, but I wasn't going to memorize that. So we have a team of dedicated professionals. These are the actual faces of people that work with nonprofits every day that are passionate about doing that work, that care about getting those data-driven insights. These are people that are real people that our nonprofit clients get to call, text, Slack, email, have access to ask questions. They like to be available and have personal relationships to make sure that we're giving timely, accurate financial data to help tell your story so that you can make better, effective decisions to run the work that you do. We do that in, there's actual things that we do, not just financial services, but accounting and bookkeeping, CFO advisory, payroll and HR, tax compliance, or any combination thereof. Take a very personal approach with our clients to make sure that they have the services that they need. So to do what they need to do. And so that looks different for everyone, but these are kind of the main buckets. And that's pretty much my spiel. So thanks for listening for just a minute. If any of that resonates with you, if you think you need help in this area, we would love to connect with you, to work with you. We are very passionate about serving nonprofits of Birmingham and beyond. And so we have a QR code and over here in the little side over here is our website. We'd love to connect with you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Amy. And I have to say, and Luca did not pay me to say this, but the nonprofit that I sit on the board of, we had really grown into a size where we needed to get an audit, and we needed to do this in time to get reimbursed by a federal grant. And we had 2.5 weeks to find 3 auditors, vet the auditors, approve the auditors, and pay the auditors. And Luca, Nick on their team was able to help us do that within a 2.5 week period, and that helped save that organization a lot of money. So we really appreciate that. Okay, so this group, I think what's really exciting is, as I mentioned earlier, nonprofits, like we all do so much work. There's never enough resources. There's never enough time. We could all have so many more. We all know that. And so when I think about AI and I think about the opportunity for it to add capacity to our team so that we can create more impact across all the nonprofits in Birmingham, in this room, that's a really exciting opportunity today. So the mission of this group is really simple. It's creating a collaborative community of Birmingham nonprofits using AI to create greater impact. And that starts with all of you. So a few announcements before we dive into the meat of the conversation today. We've got a new digital space called Circle. A lot of the breakout leaders are already very active on it, so I'm excited for this to be launched. This will be a digital space for you to connect with folks in this nonprofit group and some of the other groups as well. So stay on the lookout for that. We'll be adding you to this, and it'll be a great opportunity to engage. It'll be a centralized hub where you can find information before and after the meetings, and you'll be able to connect with those other meetups too. So you might be in a marketing role. There's also a marketing breakout, and you might want to go to that. Daniel in the back here, he's one of the leaders for the marketing group. There's a financial group if you happen to be a CFO or a controller. And so there's a lot of ways that you can plug into the community, both in person and digitally. We're really excited, and this will be the first of its kind. In January, we will not be having a nonprofit breakout group meeting, but for a very good reason. We will be right down the street at Red Mountain Theater celebrating with all of the other community members with OpenAI. So OpenAI is one of the largest players within the AI space today, and they will be partnering with us and be a part of the program. You can get access here with the QR code, and also look on our website and at the Eventbrite to register. A really great value ticket at $30. And all of you know, if you work in nonprofits, all that goes into doing events, and William's been doing a great job with that. This is a great value ticket. It's gonna be from 4:30 to 8 p.m. that evening. There'll be speakers, there'll be networking, and it's gonna be like the fun networking, because I feel like this is a fun group to network with and not stuff. So with that, I'd love to introduce, I've been saying that our friends at Holy Family Cristo Ray, I don't know if for those who were here last month, I wasn't able to make it, but Ashley gave a great presentation, Ashley right here in the front in pink, gave a great presentation on how they're using that data for communication purposes. And today her colleague Matt, who's also a leader for this group, is gonna talk to us about how we make sense of our program data and how we can use AI to help do that. So with that, Matt.
Hi, everyone. Is it working? Did I get it on? Okay, great. Awesome. So yeah, my name is Matt Smith, and I'm the Director of IT at Holy Family Cristo Ray Catholic High School. I came by way of being the Director of Mission and Ministry first, and then they realized that I was a home tech hobbyist, and they were like, well, you could do the IT thing, right? So then I kind of went into this overlapping role of Director of Mission and Ministry and Director of IT, and now I'm fully in Director of IT, 50% time, fully 50% time, right? And I'm loving it, and part of why I'm loving it is that AI is making my life a lot easier and the lives of those in our school a lot easier. Before we dive in, I want to understand who's in the room. So I know there are at least 2 data analysts in the back. Any other data analysts? Okay, so we got 3 data analysts. Let's see, we've got how many, let's see, who else we got? How many of you are called upon to make your story relevant to people at different times? You have to tell your story to a wide audience. I figured that would be most of us. And then how many of you, this is a little more advanced, how many of you have ever created a custom GPT or a Claude project or a gem? Okay, so a few of you. So we've got some people in here who are gonna understand some of what's going on here, and I hope this will make sense to you. I'm not gonna show you exactly how I got to the end product until kind of the very end. So hold tight and you'll get to see the gem. All of the data will be in slides prior to that. So today we're going to try something a little different. We're going to use Birmingham AI's actual data to demonstrate this process of taking your data and turning it into a story. You're going to see what we created from real data, and as we go, you'll see how this applies to your own programs. One thing I want to point out is that we are learning alongside you. I am not an expert in this. I'm learning this as I go. And I'm always asking the different tools, what is it that you can do for me when I'm trying to accomplish this task? And it will tell me what it can do and what it can't do. I asked Gemini today, I said, how many tokens can you take at a time? And it said, I can take up to 1 million tokens at a time. So when I'm looking at Gemini, their context is 1 million tokens, which is, I feel like I have lettuce on my face. I do. Sorry. So their context is 1 million tokens, which is a ridiculous amount of information in one chat. So that gives you some idea of what you can do here. So before we show you how to get here, let me show you where we're going. As I mentioned, we took Birmingham AI's fall event data, which included attendance, surveys, feedback, and we used AI to create 3 different outputs from the exact same data. As an aside, I want you to know that everything I did for this presentation has been run through the AI gamut several times. So these slides I created on Canva. I wanted to see, I had never tried creating slides using the AI service in Canva, and it created these beautiful slides for me. So when you see gibberish on the left side of your screen, that makes absolutely no sense. That's because it was Canva creating these like fake images for us of supposed data. So these are pull quotes from the board document that we created. And I want you to take a quick look at those. I'm going to give you a second to look. In the full example, the tone included phrases like data-driven, strategic, and decision-focused. Scalability, product market fit, risk mitigation, things you wouldn't be saying to the general public. And this is what's going to help leadership understand growth patterns, identify risks, and then make good decisions for the future that are grounded in some level of strategy. This is the graphic that Gemini created for me. I had my data plugged into a gem in Google Gemini. Gem is basically a custom AI assistant in Google Gemini. And it created a very accurate graphic representation for the board of, now we're not giving this to the board actually, this is just for an example for today. But giving you an idea of the net promoter score, how many people it reached, and then how the projects look. Are they in the green? Are they in the yellow? Or in the red? I don't actually know what those mean, but I'm assuming green is good, red is bad. Is that, or red is an area of growth, green is going well. So that was the board. So just take a look at that. Now I ran it through for the general public and reluctant adopters. It's the same data, same exact data, And it's a completely different story when you look at the words in there. You have words like neighbors, that this calmed my fears. It says join us at the end of it. This version is a warm, inspiring version, and it leads with emotion and how people can be transformed, not data. Both versions are true. Both versions come from the same data set, but the difference here is knowing who your audience is. So here's the graphic it made for reluctant adopters. So 96%, I'm trying to like put myself in the shoes of a reluctant adopter and say, 96% say I would recommend this to a friend. If 96% of people who come here say they would recommend this to a friend across all of the events that Birmingham AI has created, I'm gonna be likely to wanna try it out. And then it says, who are the people who join us and what are the problems we tackle together? Of course, other is one of the main problems we tackle together, so I guess I'll just leave that up to your imagination. Okay, and now this is for current and prospective donors. Again, same data, but we've shifted the focus to the impact of a person's donation on the organization. So with a prospective donor, you can see what is the potential impact that you could have on our organization. Now, I need you to know that I am not in the development world. I am not on a board. I'm just imagining what these things might be for these different groups. And I'm doing that as a partner with AI. We have a very diverse group that comes together from across the city, so I thought the Avengers was an appropriate graphic there. And here's what they say for prospective and current donors. I love this down here. Our organization, and this is an actual pull quote, our organization helps vulnerable populations. Learning these tools allowed us to automate donor campaigns and focus more on our mission. This is a complementary opportunity that educated me. If I'm a donor and I'm looking at supporting Birmingham AI, that's something that I think is gonna appeal to me. Now this and the previous slides, as I said, were done by Gemini using data in a connected Google Sheet. And I'm very impressed with how it told the story. Now I want to show you what ChatGPT did with the same data, and I can't even remember what the prompt was that I gave it, but I know that I was giving it a very similar prompt to what I did here. This is the ChatGPT version. I'm not trying to pit them against each other or anything, but I just want to show you. So there are some people from UAB and they said, hey, Sam Altman said that they're in code red today because Gemini performed better than ChatGPT. Well, this is an example of Gemini performing better than ChatGPT. There aren't even any numbers here. You kind of have to guess where things fall. I mean, I guess we're like somewhere around 30% there, maybe like 23%, I don't know. So anyway, it's just an example for you of how different these can look. Those are different stories right there. Same data. So if you're like me, you have your data scattered across all of these different places. You might have attendance in a spreadsheet. You might have survey responses in a survey monkey or something like that, Google Forms, Notion. You have outcome stories and emails or staff notes. You have a little sticky note in your pocket. And you know there's a compelling story in this narrative. But connecting the pieces feels overwhelming because everything is so disparate. And that's where a simple framework helps. So we're going to go over what that framework is. And I'm going to admit that I know nothing about this, okay, except what I'm sharing with you here because Emily introduced me to all of these different frameworks, okay? So this is not, I'm not an expert on this, but this is called results-based accountability, right? Is that right? Results-based accountability. And it looks at three questions. What did we do? How well did we do it? And what changed for the participants? They're simple, they're in plain language, they're easy to understand. So you got your activities and reach, your quality and satisfaction, and your outcomes and your impact. So you can use these for any program you have, whether you're a workforce development organization, you're doing community events, you run a food bank, if you work at a school, whatever it is, AI can help you take your messy, scattered data from all of these different places and organize it into these clear answers to these questions. And once it's organized, once you get all of that stuff pulled together, the storytelling actually becomes real easy. For those of you who know the logic model or theory of change model, I don't know these either. This is how this would translate, okay? So just kind of put that out there for you. Again, you'll receive these slides, so if you want this slide, you will get it. And I want to say about the slides, I asked it for a winter theme because we're in December, and so everything has ice on it. It's just kind of fun. All right, so here's what Birmingham AI actually had, and this probably looks familiar to you. The attendance was tracked in Google Sheets. Well, actually, attendance is tracked in an online tool, right? Eventbrite. And then it's moved to Google Sheets. And then we have our survey responses, and we have our outcome stories. And everything has numeric ratings, open-ended comments, and outcome stories. It's all messy, real-world data that's all over the place. And this is probably what's sitting in your Google Drive or on your desktop right now. It's not important that you see what all of this says, but what we want to do is we want to create one organized impact data set. So we're going to create a master document that combines all of our scattered data resources. And we're going to organize by those 3 questions. So I have this organized, we got the 1, 2, and 3, and this isn't even everything that's in there. This is all created by Google Gemini. I did not have to create this for myself. Google Gemini created this for me. So we can get stories for board members, for board reports, for grant applications, for donor updates, for everything from this information that we're pulling together in this one document. So this is what AI created when we asked it to organize Birmingham AI's scattered data. And what we have now, we have the numbers, so we have the quantitative, and we have the qualitative, that it shifted from general to role specific. We are in the role specific one right now. For how well did we do it? We have the concrete satisfaction scores, and then we have the themes and the feedback, that it's practical, welcoming, no fluff, fun, friendly. And I don't know if Birmingham AI has even had a chance to look at all of this or to play around with the gem, so I'm excited for them to play around with it. And then for what changed, this is what it came up with. So we have measurable adoption, and then the emotional transformation that happens for people in these quotes. This is kind of an organized story ready to be told to people. And so here's how we got there. I'm from New York. I tend to speak really fast. And when I met my wife, who's from Iowa, she spoke even faster than I did, which I didn't think was a thing. I thought that people from Iowa spoke slower than people from New York. But no, she spoke faster than me. So I took on her speech patterns because I needed to get a word in edgewise. And now I speak very fast. So if at any point you don't understand what I'm saying because I sound funny, please let me know. Raise your hand and say, hey, could you repeat that for me? So how do we get here? Step 1, we need to upload and share our data. I put a little anti-gravity hat on ChatGPT. I hope no one minds. I thought it looked like SpongeBob SquarePants a little bit. That one character in SpongeBob SquarePants. There you go, Patrick. So this process is simpler than you might think. So the first step is to gather your data sources and then upload them to an AI tool. What's important here to notice when you're working with sensitive data is that you may not be able to upload all of your data. You may need to anonymize it. Or you might just need to choose that the model not use your data for training purposes. You need to check with your legal counsel about what you can do. That is, I don't know if there's an industry standard for that right now, and that's something you need to be sure of before you start uploading data onto AI tools. So I want to say that. So you can share to any tool. It could be ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, Cursor, Claude Code, whatever. And you can upload spreadsheets, you can upload CSV files, you can upload PDFs, whatever you need, include your notes. I mean, you could take a picture of a handwritten note you have, include that, and the AI can handle it all. It can handle all that messy data. And you're going to put that into one document. Now, no prompt is magic. It says magic prompt, and no prompt is magic. No prompt is going to do everything you want it to do. But this is how we got there. This is the prompt that I gave. And I should say, this prompt I wrote with AI. In conversation with AI, I said, this is what I want. Help me to figure out what I really want. And it wrote this prompt based on the feedback that I gave it. So read through all this data, the spreadsheets, survey responses, the notes, and organize everything by the 3 questions. And then pull out both the numbers and the stories. So the prompt does the work for you because you've already gathered the data. That's the bulk of the work that you have to do, is the gathering of the data. And then, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you'll be getting these slides again, so you'll have this information for afterwards. Then you're going to create your document. So step 3, you're going to take what AI gives you and you're going to create your master document. So it could be a Google Doc, a Word document, it could be a text, it could be a section in your CRM. Format does not matter here. What matters is that you have in one place all of the information that you want to have in that one place so that your data is organized by those 3 questions. And this becomes your source of truth. It's not to say that you write it once and you have it done. You update this quarterly. And then every time you need to write a grant, create a board report, update your community on something, you start here.
Just to clarify, when you say all of the information in one place, is that the data that you just gathered or that document separate? Can you clarify that?
Yes, I can clarify that. The data does not need to be in that document. What needs to be in that document are the answers to those 3 questions. So the data will be in a separate Excel spreadsheet or whatever format it is that you're using to organize that. It'll be in that format. Okay. So you're going to do the hard work once. AI is going to help you do it in minutes instead of hours. You're going to spend so much less time doing this. And then you can adapt that organized story for any audience, any purpose, as many times as you need. Nothing is infinite, so you can't adapt infinitely, but you can adapt for a really long time. So let me show you how this works. So this is where it gets really powerful. You did the hard work once, organizing your data into that master document. Sorry, I should clarify here, William, thank you. It's not organizing your data into that master document. It's organizing all of your data together. You're going to have your master document that answers those 3 questions, and then your data is going to be separate. I just want to clarify that again. So watch how fast you can adapt this for completely different audiences. I want you to turn to someone next to you for 30 seconds. I'm going to set a timer here. And you're each going to have about 15 seconds. And I want you to communicate with them. Who is someone you need to communicate with regularly in your organization? You're going to get a little bonus time because I actually have to take this and turn it into 30 seconds. Okay, turn to someone next to you. If you need to do a trio, you can do a trio for 30 seconds. Who's someone you need to communicate with regularly? Introduce yourselves too. So can someone share with me what you heard? Who do you need to communicate with regularly? What did you talk about? Department heads? Clients? Corporate donors? Any others? For us, it's parents. You have to communicate with parents a lot. Husbands, spouses. So I'm going to show you what the board summary actually was. So I gave AI this prompt. And notice what I'm asking for here: strategic insights, evidence of sustainable growth and quality, decisions needed, future direction. I'm telling AI who the audience is and what that audience cares about. So this is something that I want to get right. I want to know that what I'm putting in here is actually what those people want. So if there's any way for me to figure that out from those people, that would be helpful for me. Oh wait, were people, oh, here we go. Here's the result. I'll give you a second just to look at that. Look at the language in there: scalability, product market fit, risk mitigation, strategic direction. It speaks directly to what board members care about when they're trying to make decisions in your organization. It's professional, it's focused on sustainability and growth, and it's honest about the challenges. It's not sugarcoating it. Will you go for me? Doesn't want to advance. There we go. So now I'm giving AI a completely different prompt. And I'm saying, take the same data, but I'm going to ask you for the human transformation side of it, the emotional impact. I want to know how it's a welcoming community and what the benefit is. It's a different audience, different needs, same data. And let's see what it creates. Oh, that says from fear to future. And I pointed these out before, but neighbors calmed my fears, join us. It's much more welcoming. The data was ready for this story. We just changed the lens that we looked at it through. And this is the power of understanding your audience. Both versions are completely true. Both come from the exact same data set. And the difference is knowing what each audience needs to hear or wants to hear. Your board needs strategic language and risk assessment, and then your community needs emotional connection and invitation. AI helps you translate that same truth into different language for those different audiences. So this is your repeatable workflow. Every quarter, every grant cycle, every annual report, you're going to go through this same process. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying this is something you could do. You're going to gather your messy data. You're going to ask AI to organize it by the 3 questions. And then you're going to create your master document and then adapt it for whoever needs to hear that story. You do the hard work once, and you adapt forever. And I'll say it again. You'll get this, so don't worry about it. We'll probably send these out later on today. So everything I've shown you so far works great, but what if you do this every month, every quarter? What if you didn't have to re-explain your organization, your mission, and your audiences every single time? What if AI already knew your context? So that's what we're about to build. We're about to create a custom AI assistant that knows your organization. Now, you're not going to actually build this right now, but I'm going to give you homework. So if you choose to build it later on, you will. And just for the purpose of understanding these different platforms, these are all custom assistants that work across different platforms. So it's the same concept within each of these platforms. So Gemini creates a gem. You can do it with a free account, and you're going to get it in your gem manager. ChatGPT has the custom GPT. They also have projects. Both of those work fairly similarly. There are some nuances there, but you're going to have the custom GPT. It does require Pro, and you're going to get it in the My GPTs menu. And then Claude has projects now. I have not used Claude projects. Has anyone here used Claude projects? Do they work similar to the custom GPTs? Not sure. Yeah, great. Okay. Great. So today I'm going to explain the left-hand side of this, the gem. which is Google Gemini, because it's free and it should be accessible to everyone. So what is a gem? A gem is like having a staff member who knows everything about your organization. You'll only have to teach the gem once. You might have to teach the staff member more than once. But you're going to teach the gem your mission, your programs, who your audiences are, how you like to communicate, how you like to receive the story. And then every time you upload data, it's just going to do it for you. It's going to automatically apply that context to everything. Instead of explaining we're a workforce development nonprofit serving 500 participants annually focused on tech skills every time, the gem already knows. So you don't have to add that. You just upload your data and say, analyze this, and it knows how to frame it for your organization. So now I'm going to do what no one ever wants to do, and I'm going to go to a live demo so that you can see this. And I need to switch over here because it's on the other screen.
And while Matt's doing that, if you were here last month, Ashley showed putting your brand voice together and brand guidelines. Those are other documents that you could include in this project as well, so that when you ask it for the output on the data, it will put it in your organization's voice.
You almost think we planned that. Oh.
And if anybody has questions throughout, feel free to raise your hand and we'll toss you this cool cube.
Yeah, just bear with me as I get this gem pulled up here. Where'd you go? See, this is what it doesn't do for you when you want it to do. Is this a gem? Here we go. Right there. Okay. So I created another gem because I thought I might use the Jim Henson Company Impact Storyteller. So I created that one too, but I haven't actually used that yet. We'll see. I thought maybe I would map the Muppets. I'm a big Muppet fan. Thought maybe I'd map the Muppets across different movies and see like who played what roles, but I just didn't want to get that data set and have a bunch of false data in there. So this is the Birmingham AI Impact Storyteller. And I'm just going to type something in here so that you can see kind of what it does. And I want to point something out to you here, because if you haven't used Gemini, this probably looks pretty familiar and it's probably self-explanatory, but I just want you to see that there are options down here. You've got thinking and you've got fast. Whenever I've done fast, it returns a table for me. When I do thinking, it seems to do a better job of giving it in narrative form. So that might be a difference in them. That's been my experience. I don't know if that's universal. So we're going to enter a prompt here, and I just want you to see what this will do. So this has data in it already that we're using. I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a prompt like I gave it last night. I am a presenter for a nonprofit, don't worry about the typos, a nonprofit meetup. I feel really hesitant about getting in front of 80 people and speaking about this gem. Tell me why I shouldn't be scared. And it didn't actually, I pressed enter, but it didn't actually go. So let's watch it. And I want you to pay attention to what it says up here, because it kind of tells you what it's doing as it goes. Gathering presentation insights. Discovering impact evidence. Analyzing success metrics. We got to wait here awkwardly until it's done. Exploring presentation fears. Discovering key insights. Analyzing audience needs. Unveiling a persuasive framework. Confirming data relevance. Okay. So here's what it comes up with. The audience is dabbling and looking for a guide. Is that true? Are people dabbling? Are you looking for a guide? They crave practical over polished. True? You are helping them serve their missions. I'm not going to look at all this right now. This is a room of mission-driven people who are slightly overwhelmed by AI and are deeply grateful for practical, safe guidance. That's based on the data that we have, that we've gotten over the course of the past 3 months. it would not be able to give me that information definitively without the data set that I
Quick question for
put
you.
in there. Yep.
The data that you upload and share, I know you get the plus there. How do you do that? Is there any kind
You'll see that in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'm jumping the gun.
So this is where my gems are. So if I click on here, it's going to give me the option to create a new gem. That's what I want to do when I want to make a new gem. Then I'm going to come over. I'm not actually going to create a new gem right now. I want to show you the Birmingham AI Impact Storyteller.
Matt, can you zoom in a little bit? Can you make the screen a little bigger?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Give me just a minute. Whoa, I'm going to go one back. There we go. Actually, we don't need all that stuff on the side. All right. So here's the editor. Boy, that's a lot on the top, isn't it? I am going to zoom out a little bit more. Okay. So this is the description. I wrote the description after I had written the instructions. I took the instructions and I plugged that into Gemini and said, now write a description for me based on my instructions. And it wrote the description for me. Now I put the instructions in here and I'm telling it exactly, here, let's zoom down here a little bit, see if we can. This is not the most responsive interface when it's casting. So here we go, that's better. So I'm not gonna read all this to you, I just want you to hear some of this. You are the Birmingham AI Impact Storyteller, a specialized assistant that helps organize program data and create compelling impact narratives. So then I tell it a little bit about Birmingham AI, what it does, what its goal is, talk about the primary audiences, what the gem is supposed to do. So this is the 3 questions. What did we do? How well did we do it? And what was the impact? What changed for participants? And then I tell it what its process is. And so that's telling it how it's going to interact with the data. Now we can just stop there. We don't have to go any further. Well, actually, outputs are useful. So let's do the outputs too. I don't always use tone. You can use tone if you want. So that is all you're going to need to create. I know that looks like a lot right now, but you're basically putting in the mission of your organization and then saying, here are these 3 questions, and here's how I want you to interact with these 3 questions.
Quick question for you in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, did you use AI to help you generate the instructions?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't use Gemini, I used Claude.
I was gonna, that's a.
Yeah, I like to go across different platforms because I feel like if there are mistakes in one, they'll be kind of made up for in the other one and they'll kind of check each other out. I don't know if that's true, but it did a really good job. And then here's the knowledge. I added, this is a Google Sheet. This is linked to an actual Google Sheet. This is not a CSV file. This is not an Excel file. This is a live Google Sheet that I can edit data in. And so if you have a sheet where you're constantly putting data in it, you don't have to go in and change any of these instructions because you've got that sheet that's your dynamic connector. Your sheet is going to be the thing that changes the data for you, and then you're going to be able to interact with it in a particular way. Once you do that, you just click save or update, and you can start using your storyteller. It's super simple. And I say it's super simple. You might get home and be like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. But please feel free to contact me or other people here and make sure that you understand exactly what you need. Yes?
Okay, so you said that you used AI to create that composite data sheet, right? You did it outside of this Impact Storyteller?
I did.
Is it just with a prompt?
Yeah, and I had it be in conversation with me. I had it interview me one question at a time so that I didn't get overwhelmed with the questions. It won't get overwhelmed, but I will get overwhelmed. And I mentioned before, the context is huge. So you can put a lot of stuff in this gem. Let me show you what else I have in this gem.
One other quick question for you, Matt.
Yes.
As far as the Google sheet that you referenced there, is it limited to or tied into this Gemini system, or like where you get access to it? Is it, do you have to basically tie it to a specific LLM or agent or system for your data that you say you've got live access to?
If I'm understanding your question, so for example, if I have it tied to Gemini, can I use that data set with another LLM?
Yes.
Yes. It's not tied to a specific LLM. So in this case, it's connected to the gem.
There's no API calls or anything like that?
No, there's no API. Well, there's no visible API calls. There are API calls, but they all happen behind the scenes in Google's infrastructure.
No cost API charge.
Right. Yep.
And I think that the distinction there is in Gemini, because it's Google, you can link directly to your Google Sheets.
Right.
If you do this in ChatGPT, you are not uploading a live document. You're just uploading like a PDF or an Excel sheet or something like that in the ChatGPT side. So the benefit of this being Gemini is it connects directly to your Google documents.
Exactly. And I think that leaves space for it to be more dynamic because you can update your data quarterly and then interact with it live.
And if you are using a different LLM, I would make sure that that sheet is shareable and viewable outside of your organization or your account. That way, because some other LLMs like ChatGPT can go out to that page and look at that data. No API or anything like that. It's just using that web search feature.
And it will ask you when you create the gem, do you want to share the gem with this space? And so I had to, share the Google Sheet with this space. So I had to share the Google Sheet with this gem space in order for it to function within here. And then when I shared it with William, it said, do you want to share the sheet with William? So that's good to know too, that if you're creating this, the sheet is going to be shared with whomever you are sharing the gem with. So if I share the gem with Bearcon Siger, Bearcon is going to have access to all of that data. He's going to have access to this sheet in his shared files in Google, and he's going to be able to view that. So if I don't want him viewing that, I should not give him access to this gem.
What about security factors from Google?
What about, I'm sorry? Other people shouldn't have access to that data. If you're just sharing it with the gem, and you've asked it, so you can't see it on this one because I haven't asked this one not to use my data. But if I go to, let me go to my Holy Family Cristo Ray. You'll see down at the bottom, let's see, I'm just going to say, what is my name and see what it, your Holy Family Cristo Ray chats aren't used to improve our models. So that's where you'll see if your data is being shared or not. If you don't see that, then your data is probably being shared. I think just assume it's being shared, right? So I do not know your name. I do not have access to your private personal information or account details. All right. That's all right. I don't mind that. Okay, I want to show you the rest of this because this is interesting what else you could do. Now this is a little more advanced, but you will get this, this set of prompts if you want it. I'm going to go down here. Your tone. Okay, so here's the next one. You can have pre-built templates. So I have the board leadership template, the funder grant template, the donor public template, and the community partner template. And then it gives instructions when you ask for a specific audience, automatically apply that template without needing additional prompting. So that saves you a little more time and it saves you tokens too. Although if you're using this for free, you don't really need to worry about the tokens so much. But if you're concerned about the environment and you don't want to use as many tokens, having it take fewer steps is
Matt, what are
helpful.
tokens?
Oh, what are tokens? Yes, tokens are, oh, let's see. Well, tokens are a way of measuring how much data is in your request. And so I think typically 4 to 5 characters is going to be about 1 token. So you can assume that if you have access to 1 million tokens in a chat, then you have access to 4 to 5 million characters in that chat. And what it will do is if you get to that limit, which you probably will not, if you do, you should start a new chat. You should just take that, summarize it, put it in a new chat. It'll start dropping the initial conversation that you had, and then it'll start losing some of its context. So that's good to know. If it gets too long, you may not get the refined answers that you want. So what I would do if I were creating this, which I did, I just wanted to put this all in one place for you, is I would take these templates and I would put them in a separate gem. I would have the Birmingham AI audience templates or something like that gem. And then I wouldn't be using as much, I wouldn't need as much context. Let's go down here. It's telling you what to do with quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis. What's the headline story from this data? What would surprise someone about these results? What validates our theory of change? What challenges our assumptions? So it will answer all those questions for you. And then it will format using these standards. That's another thing you can say, that I want it to be formatted in a particular way. And it will do that for you. There's a lot of stuff here. So I'm just kind of scrolling through so you can see what I have. And then these are conditional responses based on the data quality. So you can say if this, yeah, an AI generated all that for me. I said, how else? I think I went in and said something like, I want to be able to use this Birmingham AI Impact Storyteller for most of my workflows connected to the community and data. And what else can I do with it? Tell me, and then write prompts for me. And it came up with all this. Now, I haven't tested the conditional stuff. I don't know if anyone has, if you have stories about it, but I'm interested to play around with this and try it. Let me get back. Are there any questions on that? I'm glad the live demo actually worked. You're jumping into a snake pit anytime you try a live demo. Oh, yeah, we got the box coming.
I'm wondering about, like, I know I've used ChatGPT with the projects, but it's almost like subfolders or sub-projects or sub-gems. Like, for example, if you had done a gem of your brand story, but you wanted to then add it into this impact storyteller, can you attach a gem to the instruction, or can you attach it like you did the Google Sheet?
I don't think so.
Maybe ask it to refer to that gem.
Can we try it?
Yeah.
Can we try it right now? Can we just try that and see if it works? I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Great question.
Okay, here. So we're actually going to go in and we're going to create a gem. I mean, it's only 12:52, and what do we need? 5 minutes at the end? We still got 3 minutes, right? Yeah. We're going to do it. Okay, give your gem a name. This is a test gem. Oh, it's a test gem. Test gem. Okay, let's see. Instructions. Refer to the, I'm going to try the @ sign and see. Nope. Oh, so what you could do, just thinking about this, you could put that instruction in a Google Doc, and you could refer to the Google Doc, and then that's how you could insert it in there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Google Drive could also let you do folders. So That's a really powerful way to do that. But let's just see what it does. Let's say Birmingham AI Impact Storyteller and add context for the Muppets. Okay, we're going to save this, and let's just see what it does. Gem test has been created. Okay. What would animal need to hear about Birmingham AI? Let's see if it is able to do anything with that. Deciphering the request. Framing the audience. Uh-oh, you've all been implicated in a crime. You got it? Dad, ain't no bad joke like a dad joke. Crafting animal's voice. They're going to make me do a bad imitation here. Devising. Not one robot, many people. Austin, Will, band leaders. All play together. They shout loud. This is the meetup. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if that's definitive, whether it referred to it, but it's clearly getting stuff about Birmingham AI in there. So I think we have time for one more question. If anyone has a burning question they want to ask, that was a thank you for inviting us into that fun experiment. Let me get back to the presentation here. Let's see where we are. There we go. Whoops. This was in case the demo didn't work. I had all this stuff ready to go. Go for us. There we go. All right. Got the advanced users. So what I love about this approach is that no matter where you are in your learning journey, there's something you can do to help you do your work better. So here's your challenge. It'll probably take you about 15 minutes. Before next Monday, I know we're all getting to the end of the year. We have end of year giving campaigns that we're working on. Although I think a lot of the development people aren't here today because of Giving Tuesday. So before next Monday, try one of these prompts with your real data. Pick just one. Pick the one that's easiest for you to put together. Like maybe you already have survey responses, you already have some stuff pulled together, something that's sitting in a folder, and start there. Use the basic organization prompt, analyze this using the 3 questions, and then see what AI puts out for you. And I want you to notice something, because presumably you will have looked at that data already. See if AI saw anything in your data that you hadn't seen, if it pulls any insights out that you hadn't seen that are helpful for you to tell your story. And then pay attention to what question you ask next. Because that's the thing that really gets you to the next level, is that curiosity. Always approaching AI with curiosity. Because without that, we're never going to learn how to use these tools together. We're all navigating this landscape at the same time, on the same footing. So we need to work together and ask good questions, and learn how to ask good questions. And when you email me or post in our circle space, if you happen to be in the circle space, if you want an invite, we might be able to get a few invites. Is that okay? So even if it didn't work perfectly, we want to hear what happened, because you, by doing this, by participating actively in this, you're helping to build our community of AI users and people who are asking good questions and doing great things in our community. There's my contact information for you. If you could take, it's literally 30 seconds to answer 2 questions. This is where the data comes from that we are telling the story with today. If you could do that for us, we would really appreciate that.
You could be in our board packet, our end of year donor.
That's right.
What you put in there. Both positive and negative areas for opportunities.
So make sure you write something very eloquent and maybe use AI to develop it.
Yeah. And
then it won't be eloquent.
And mention Matt's name, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Obviously, Matt. And also, can we also thank Luca again for sponsoring today. As a nonprofit, without their support, we wouldn't be here, or you guys would be really hungry and a little angrier because of that. So,
and thank you, Amy, for getting up here and speaking when you weren't going to be the one to do that. I know that takes guts. Are we good?
We're good.
We are good. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was useful. I'll be here afterwards if you want to ask me any questions. If you want to talk with each other and network a little bit, figure out who's in the room. I think we have the space for another few minutes, so please feel free. Thank you.